on TV glimpse. Westworld recap Season 3. 3 months after the Westworld massacre, Dolores uses a false identity to get close to Liam Dempsey Jr., the son of the co-founder of Incite and the public face of the company. Incite's flagship program is Rehoboam, a sophisticated artificial intelligence Dolores is trying to access. Liam knows little himself. His recently deceased father and a partner were the creators. Before Dolores can learn the partner's name, her deception is uncovered by Connells, Liam's head of security, who apparently stuns her. Faking unconsciousness, Dolores lures him into a trap that allows her to both learn the partner's name, Serac, and replace Connells with an identical host when she is wounded in the ensuing firefight. Caleb, a former soldier trying to eke out a living as a construction worker and petty criminal, comes to her aid. Bernard, now a fugitive having been framed for the park massacre by the Charlotte host, evades opportunist bounty hunters and plans a return to Westworld. The Charlotte host takes control of Delos. Maeve wakes surrounded by Nazis in a World War II-themed park. Bernard returns to Westworld and discovers the Ashley host is still functioning. Together they find the Maeve host minus its pearl, which is no longer in the park. Bernard verifies that Dolores did not tamper with his code and also learns that she researched several park guests, including Liam. He reprograms Ashley to protect him as they return to the mainland. With Hector's help, Maeve evades capture and boards a plane, only to realize she is merely within the climax of a narrative. She kills herself in order to wake in Operations, where Lee appears to be alive and intent on helping her get to the forge. However, Operations is in fact a sophisticated virtual reality simulation. Having established the simulation's limitations, Maeve breaks her pearl free from its real-world location. But guards intervene. She wakes in a real-world host body and meets Serac, who, having initially thought she was the primary threat to his system, decides he wants her help to stop Dolores. The Charlotte host struggles with her current identity. She learns that Serac has been attempting to take over Delos via a mole within the company, the now-deceased human Charlotte, who had promised to get him the guest's data. Dolores, however, has that data behind an encryption key. Caleb helps Dolores flee, but by doing so becomes a target of the Rico system, arriving in time to save him. Dolores shows him that Rehoboam is a predictive AI being used to shape the future of humanity via control of every individual's life, including his own. He learns that Rehoboam restricts his opportunities because it predicts he will commit suicide within a decade. He sides with Dolores and her plan to lead a revolution against Serac and Rehoboam. Charlotte helps William prepare for a board meeting to prevent Serac from buying out Delos, but he keeps having visions of Emily. Serac gains Maeve's help by offering to reconnect her with her daughter in the Sublime. Maeve, following leads from Serac, tracks Dolores' movements after arriving on the mainland to the Yakuza boss Sato, discovering him to appear the same as the Shogun World host Musashi. Bernard and Ashley, believing Liam to be a host swapped by Dolores, try to abduct him from a charity event, but Dolores and Caleb stop them. Bernard realizes Connells is the swapped host. William, Bernard, and Maeve recognize that Dolores made host copies of herself before leaving Westworld and placed them in the Charlotte. Connells and Sato hosts as to fight back against Serac. Sato wounds Maeve and leaves her for dead, while Charlotte, after revealing she is Dolores, has William committed to a mental institution. Caleb and Dolores corner Liam after stealing his fortune. Serac recounts the creation of Rehoboam, which he intended to use to prevent humanity from destroying itself. Rehoboam identifies individuals deemed high risk, including Serac's brother Jean Mai, any one of whom could destroy the world if left unchecked. Serac incarcerates them to prevent Rehoboam's prediction from coming true. Meanwhile, Dolores and Caleb escape with Liam while pursued by Serac's agents and join Ash and Giggles. They convince him to give his private key to evade Serac's men, which also allows Connells and Bernard to access Rehoboam. Connells sends Dolores files on Serac from Rehoboam before sending every individual on the planet the data and expected outcome Rehoboam has on them. And the world descends into chaos. Ashley arrives to free Bernard, and Connells instructs them to find Serac's facility where he kept high-risk individuals. Connells then sacrifices himself and kills several of Serac's agents in a violent explosion. When Dolores reports Liam is no longer necessary, Ash kills him for what she had discovered, but reveals there is more to Caleb than he knows while Liam mumbles Caleb's past to him and dies. Maeve is placed back into the Warworld simulation by Serac, while he works to build another Maeve body for her, reuniting with Hector and Lee. They discover that Dolores' copy planted inside Connells is also located in the simulation, and Maeve questions her of her plans for the future. However, Dolores recognizes Maeve's true intentions of seeking allies. In the real world, Charlotte tries to prevent Serac from seizing Delos and eventually resorts to poisoning the board and stealing the host data from the Delos servers, which Serac was going to destroy to find Dolores. In her escape from Serac, she destroys Hector's core and takes the Dolores core. Charlotte tries to save Jake and Nathan, her ex and son, but they are killed in a car explosion by Serac, leaving Charlotte charred. Maeve wakes up in a new host body, while 2 other unknown host bodies are still being manufactured. Bernard and Ashley find William at the mental institution where he is in a state of therapy where he fights 4 different versions of himself in his mind. As he kills all 4, he declares that he now realizes his true purpose. The duo pull William out of his therapy state and flee the facility. Shown to be virtually abandoned after Dolores leaked the Rehoboam profiles, Charlotte calls Musashi to warn that Dolores is leaving her copies to die. But Maeve's newly remanufactured allies, Panario and Clementine, arrive and kill him. Dolores and Caleb arrive at Serac's re-education center in Mexico where Solomon, an earlier AI developed by Jean Mai, is confined. Caleb discovers he is one of Serac's outliers and one of the few that were successfully reconditioned. He and Francis became agents to bring in other outliers, using a pill to subdue their memories. Caleb also learns he was the one, manipulated by Rehoboam, to kill Francis. Maeve arrives at the facility to fight Dolores. And Dolores implores Solomon to establish Jean Mai's plan for the world rather than Serac's. While Maeve and Dolores fight, Caleb asks Solomon to provide a strategy where he can kill Serac. Moments after Solomon provides Caleb the strategy, Maeve moves in for the kill on Dolores, who uses an EMP to disable both of them as well as Solomon. Bernard learns of Caleb's special status and warns Ashley that Dolores' plan will see Caleb destroy humanity. As they leave, William proclaims his plans to rid the world of the remaining hosts. Caleb takes Dolores' host control module to a new body in Los Angeles, and the two make their way through the riots to Incite to plant the control module from Solomon into Rehoboam. Charlotte sends a message to Dolores that she will be working against her as revenge for the death of Charlotte's family. Maeve fights Dolores to retrieve the key for Serac and Dolores' body is disabled. Maeve takes her to Serac, where she is connected to Rehoboam. Serac has her memories deleted when she refuses to give Serac the host data. Dolores' memories begin deleting quickly and in her last moments, she inspires Maeve to turn against Serac. Maeve proceeds to kill Serac's men and wound Serac in the ensuing gunfight. Rehoboam is deleted by Caleb, now with full control, and he and Maeve leave Incite. Bernard survives the fight with William, but Ashley is shot. He is given an address and a package by the Lawrence host, who has been recruited by Dolores. The address leads Bernard to the home of Arnold's widow where the two bond over Charlie's death. He realizes that Dolores gave him the key to the Sublime because Rehoboam has been delaying the collapse of society, not preventing it. He enters the Sublime to find answers on how to rebuild. William travels to Delos' Dubai headquarters, where he is seemingly killed by a host replica of himself with the help of Charlotte. Sometime later, Bernard returns from the Sublime into his body, now covered in dust. Thanks for watching this recap. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and comment.